Well, so I wrote the book because I guess I needed it for myself, is the best way to say it. It came out of an experience I had and realized I had had many times flying overseas. And it just became very clear to me that uh, the anxiety and fear that I have, not only over flying, but over lots of things, was an area that I was not trusting God in at all. And in the book, I talk about the fact that we all generally have these ways of coping with our fear and whatever areas of sin or brokenness we are tempted toward or functioning in, and anxiety and shame. And we tend to sort of hold those to the side and bring ourselves before God like without those parts, or we think we're bringing them ourselves without those parts, but in fact, they're all sort of in us, all the time, or maybe sometimes more than others. And we try to keep them away by coping with them, and therefore we can be before God and think to ourselves, I think, as David did, like we're pure and we're here we are in all of our pureness, and when really there's kind of all this stuff underground that's going on, that's churning and comes out in weird ways and comes out against our families and things like that. And so just in my own realization, and I tell the story of this particular flight in the book, but I just realized, gosh, what if, like, I know this doesn't sound revolutionary to everybody, but for me, it was like, what if God like actually embraced all of me, which is, I don't know, that's a truth that we find in scripture in a sense. I mean, no, none that say it exactly, but like we see that is true of God. And yet we have these things in us that cause us to want to hold them back. And so the book really is a way of putting forth some practices that we can use to bring our full selves before God.